welcome back to the Knitter's Closet. This is your host, Melissa. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as the Knitter's Closet. Welcome to all our new viewers and welcome back to all our returning viewers. It has been a hot minute. It's been 2 months, guys. Oh, I have no idea where the beginning of the year has gone. We have, oh, let me adjust. I am not in the right position. There we go. I think that's a little better. Oh, that's much better. Directly behind me. We had a case of strep going through our house. We had a case of the flu going through the house, and my husband and my daughter both got the flu, which meant, of course, everything fell to me for a while. Shockingly, I did not get the flu, so very happy about that, but it was a rough, it's been a rough start to the year, just to say the least. We had some changes in my daughter's daycare situation for after school, so that's given me a lot less time after school. It's been crazy. So let's catch up, shall we? I have actually quite a pile of finished projects, which is nice. I have just a few works in progress, not too many needle adjacent projects because, you know, oh, sorry for the crinkling. That's part of my stash acquisitions. You know, I have some whips that I'm still working on that you're not going to see. I haven't worked on my lid poof cardi. I haven't started some of the needle adjacent projects that I posted about or talked about in other episodes. They just haven't gotten done because I go, ooh, shiny, and you know how it is. You know how it is. You're a knitter. You know how it is. So I made sure I was extra organized. I have notes in my journal. I got myself a little, I think this is an A5 size is what they call it, bullet journal, specifically dedicated to just the podcast. And I thought, well, what better place to put all of my stickers than on my journal for there. So I've got a Shelly can. I've got a couple Shelly cans on here. I've got a little cat that says lazy and overthinking, or overthinking and also hungry. I think he's so cute. A couple of stickers I got at Sheep and Wool, and a hello, I'm worth it. I put my Craftivist back here. I've got Gus Gus. I've got my Stars Hollow Knit-a-thon. If you're not a Gilmore Girls fan, that's a Gilmore Girls reference. My Rhinebeck sticker. Yeah, so it's all good fun. So this is dedicated just to the podcast. So I have all of my notes and I have lots of them. So let's just jump right in with finished objects. I'm going to set this here with my thing. I've got too much stuff. Okay. So professional, I know. Okay. My room is a mess right now. You guys can't see the absolute devastation that is in front of me. I have been kind of going through and reorganizing the stash. I'm going to do a pretty large de-stash of yarns, probably over on Instagram and in Ravelry. So if you guys are interested in purchasing some yarns, I'm probably going to put, they're all single skeins of sock yarn. I think I have two sweater quantities up for grabs. One's a lace weight sweater quantity. And then one is 2 skeins that were meant to go together to stripe into a sweater. I don't know. I may still keep that one. I may. Anyway, but it's all indie dyed yarn, and it'll all be up for sale. Probably, I keep looking over there because that's where the pile is. It'll probably all be $20 to $25 a skein plus shipping if you need to ship. So, but anyway, let's jump into finished objects. I have a huge pile of them. First off, I did finish the sockhead hat that I was knitting out of the hedgehog fibers in episode 22, because this is, I don't know if I mentioned that, it's episode 23, you guys. And we are up to 100, and I think last time I checked, 51 subscribers. I am so excited, you guys. So yeah, I did knit this. This is gonna be probably for me. It fits me. It looks small, but it does fit me because I got a tiny head. What can I say? So this is just a sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just a really simple, this is a great pattern if you've got a skein of sock yarn and you don't know what to do, or if you want to do like a super quick gift knit. The slouchy hat style is pretty universally good looking on everybody. Especially because you can make it as slouchy or as non-slouchy as you want. Like, I did not make this one super slouchy. You can see there's just a tiny bit of slouch on this one. And I still actually have a significant amount of yarn left over. This is probably 30 grams left over, maybe a little more. And I still have some of the chain fiber left over that I had knit on the hat for Nora, so I may knit another one of those just to have like a hat in the bin for gifts. Kind of my idea is to have like just a bin of hats for everybody during the winter, you know, like just right by the front door, just little hanging buckets by the front door. And it'll have hats for everybody, and you can grab a hat for the day and just walk out the door and you can pick your hat depending on your mood. Because Lord knows, I have a ton of hats. And my daughter does too. So maybe I'll just do that. Oh, and it'll go in my gift bin, it'll go in my, you know, whatever bin. Maybe it'll go in my charity bin because Lord knows Nora doesn't need another hat with those two yarns held together, and I don't know. Anyway, so that's done. I didn't weave in the ends. And again, it's just the hedgehog fibers. It's in their sock base, and it's the Down by the River colorway that you guys have seen a couple times if you've been watching the podcast. Obviously, I didn't weave in the ends. That is not a theme in this episode. I do have a couple projects I haven't woven in the ends, but that is actually not a theme. I have, for the most part, woven in all my ends on my projects. Having said that, the next two projects I have not woven my ends in because they are just socks. These are my mustache yarn socks from Christmas. These are the Very Hobbit Christmas colorway. Come on, let's focus on there. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that just the most gorgeous striping colorway you have ever seen? I love this. These are just a vanilla sock. I did make them a little bit longer. No, I really didn't. I didn't make them too much longer than I normally make them. I don't like a long sock. This marks 14 or 15 pairs of socks for me now. I'm very excited about that. I do need to weave in my ends on this. These are 58 inches around, a heel flap gusset, and 2.25 millimeter needles. And speaking of vanilla socks, I also finished off my Earth Unique socks. I think the last time I podcast they were here, hence the stitch marker. I did not get to that scummy green, which I would show you, except that the cat got to the balls left over. So they're in a big pile of knots that I have to detangle. This is why the cat's not allowed in my room. Again, these are the same as the others. There are 58 stitches across on a 2.25 millimeter needle with a heel flap gusset. Very basic pattern. I did make these a little bit longer than I normally make them. I know it doesn't look like that, but I did. This is... when I say a little bit, I do really mean a little bit. That's the difference. I just knew that if I went too much further, I have very skinny ankles, but once you get up to my calves, they kind of whiten out. So I didn't want to deal with or fuss with increases. So, and I don't like slouchy socks. So yeah. I'll just have to make another pair with the rest of the colors. So yep, these are another matching pair of stripy socks. My daughter's singing in her room. Of course she is. I think Mommy's gonna go record a podcast as universal code for her. to start singing in her room. It's okay. It's okay. Next up I have 2 hats, and the ends are woven in, you guys. These are the Basic Beanie by Emily Boldwan. I hope I'm saying that right, or Boldoon. This one is Stitches Together in the colorway Purple Lake. I held this double. It is a sock yarn that I held double. And this is going to a person who won a raffle that I helped participate in. So it's going to be mailed off tomorrow. It's just a 1x1 rib. Goes up. I knit the flat version or the round version. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And she writes it up in 2 different ways. You can knit it in a round or you can knit it flat. I knit it in a round because I don't like seaming. So, yeah. It's very, very nice. I like the way it speckles with a little black in it. It's very, very nice. I originally got this skein to go with my skein of unicorn boogers. So, but that skein's probably just going to get knit up into a pair of socks and probably a sockhead hat. Because that's usually what I do with my leftovers. I literally have a bin of sock yarn that's leftovers that I have basically sitting there waiting to be made into sockhead hats. Because that's my easiest to go project. I know the pattern by heart. I know how many stitches to cast on. I know the, just, you know, I know it by heart. So it's my go-to pattern for just about any kind of boring knitting that I need to take with me. So that's one hat. That's getting mailed off. And then, if you guys remember, Nora picked out this really pretty neon green yellow. It's like definitely a grello. It is a bright, my camera is not blowing it out. That is exactly how bright it is. Pom-pom when we were at the yarn store. So I took the same pattern, the Basic Beanie by Emily Boldon. And I made the smaller, there was a smaller version I made for Nora. So she now has a hat, and this is the yarn is in Pretty Nitty Color Me Chartreuse. This is an exclusive to my local yarn store, and Knits and Pieces in Annapolis. And it can't, I don't know if it's showing up, but it does have a speckle to it, if you guys can see it a little. So, it's a shiny hat, and Nora enjoys it. It actually fits me too. Nora has her daddy's head. So there we go. That is 2 pairs of socks and 2 hats, if you're counting. And what else? No, 3 hats and 2 pairs of socks that are finished. Very excited about that. And then I have got not 1, but 2 really big projects finished. I'm super excited to show you these. So the first one is my habitation throw from the Advent calendar. Guys, this is from my Cannon Hand Dye Advent calendar that I went through on Vlogmas this year. You guys, oh, this is the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart, using the 2019 Cannon Hand Dyed Advent calendar. Let me stand up and try to get all of it. I'm not going to get all of it in there, but I can kind of go through and show you all the colors. Isn't that just beautiful? I love the really dark, moody colors, and then the pops of bright colors in the middle. Isn't that just pretty? And these are all, I started with day 1 down here, this little moody blue-green color, and I went day by day all the way through. Now I did mess up my stitch count at some point, so my blanket is a little wonky, and I did run out. This last one here is day 24, and then I used some leftovers for for this stripe, and then some more leftovers for this stripe. So this actually does 26 stripes instead of 24 stripes, and it is a little wonky when you hold it up. Here, let me show you the bottom. So I've got the tops matched up, but the bottoms you can see are very wonky. But you know what? It still keeps me warm at night, and I'm not selling it to anybody. It's not going to anybody as a gift. It's just for me. So it will sit, I haven't decided whether it's going to sit in my office where I am constantly cold, or if it's going to stay with me at home. I don't know yet. Don't know. So, and last but not least, in my finished objects. I'm so proud of this one, you guys. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will have seen pictures of it already. I'm not wearing it today because it's a little warm in here. I'm gonna a little stitch popping through. Some of my ends woven in. So I just want to fix that real quick. There we go. Okay. This is my Swallowtail by Jamie Hoffman. She's Knitosophy on Instagram. This was a test knit for her. I did knit a T version of it. Her version has long sleeves with color work that matches the band at the bottom. But I'm almost gonna see if I can get all of it in one shot. Let's see if I can lean back. There we go. So I absolutely love this. This is knit in, the teal color is Seal Teal, and it is Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply. And then the orangey gold color is Arita May Designs, and I do not know the name of the colorway. I have lost the tag somewhere, and if I find it, I will, let me see if I can see it over here real quick. Yeah. Thought maybe it was on my table. It's not. So yeah, crinkling. So if I find the colorway, I will definitely let you know, but I think I've lost the tag for the colorway on that one. The only reason I know the colorway on the teal color is because I actually have another skein of it. I bought 3 skeins of this last year at Maryland Sheep and Wool. Nope, in 2018 Sheep and Wool, to make a sweater with a couple other colorways. I think this was the other colorway I'd gotten to go with that. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll do something with them. So I have an extra skein of that. This was a single skein. I had bought another skein of Rita Mace yarn somewhere. I don't know where it is off the top of my head. But I'd bought it to match this gold color, but I only bought 2 skeins. So I didn't buy a sweater's quantity, and you know me, I don't knit shawls, so really 2 skeins isn't going to do much for me. So I was glad that I was able to use these 2 together. So this is out on Ravelry now. And again, is Swallowtail by Jamie Hoffman. And she's Knitosophy on Instagram if you want to follow her. She has some absolutely gorgeous designs. I love test knitting for Jamie. Her patterns are always so well written, and she's always super responsive. This is a fingering weight sweater. All color work. Her charts are gorgeous. It was super easy, super fun to knit. I love it. I've already worn it a couple times. I've gotten tons of compliments on it. Yeah, super pretty. And I'll put a picture up here of me wearing it, just in case you don't see me, haven't seen it on Instagram. So that's it for my finished objects, you guys. Yeah, I've been gone for 3 months, but I haven't really done too much. The sweater and the throw have really taken up a lot of time, and I just haven't, you know, with the kid having the flu and the husband having the flu and then the kid having strep and just daycare situation, it's been a little crazy, and I just haven't had the what is it saying, the spoons to do it. Some days I came home and just sat down and did absolutely nothing and didn't knit. Yeah, it's craziness, absolute craziness. The other day I took off work and I just like laid on the couch all day. I didn't move, I couldn't, I just, it was so far done. It was insane. So, alright, let's move on to works in progress. Let's see, what do we have up first? Move that so I'm not crinkling as much. Let's see, what do we want to do? Oh, let's do, I am doing a shawl, you guys. It's, and I'm going to butcher the name of this shawl. It's Kushleg. There we go. And it is this really pretty modular knit shawl. It's like a shlink. It is by Kristen Kimsey, and it is meant to be a design for 24 to 25 20-gram minis or 5 100-gram fingering skeins. So it's a fairly large shawl. It's modularly knit. You pick up the stitches as you go. It's currently living in my Clever Clementine kitty cat hat bag. And I am knitting this with my Rising Tide Fiber Company minis. So I have finished 2 sections of this. So it'll look a little wonky right now because, yeah, I only have 2 sections. So this is the color for day 1, and this is the color for day 2, and I will be starting on day 3 soon. Day 3 is this really pretty color. There we go. It may be a Christmas present for somebody. It may not. It may sit in my office to keep me warm since it's a schlinket. But I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Right now it is still in its beginning stages, so it doesn't have a destination yet. I just kind of wanted to knit it because I needed something to knit with those minis, and I didn't really want to knit a second cowl. I am still planning on knitting a cowl with my Goosey Fibers. I have not started knitting with my Goosey Fibers yet, so that is one work in progress. My next work in progress is actually another sweater, and it is another test knit for Jamie Hoffman. And this one, I was able to hashtag shop the stash first. Let me take a break and let me tell you a little bit about that hashtag. You guys know my friend Beth. If you've been a viewer of the podcast before, Beth has been on twice before. She is MD Quilter Knits on all the social medias. So Instagram, Ravelry, and YouTube. And now she has a podcast, MD Quilter Knits. Yay! So Beth is podcasting every 2 weeks, and she is doing a her running theme is to shop the stash first. Beth has a extensive collection of yarn, very well curated. It's a beautiful collection of yarn, and she has a goal this year to shop her stash first. So she's not stopping herself from buying yarn, but she is trying to make an effort to look at her stash and see what she has for a pattern that she wants to knit prior to purchasing yarn. So I am trying to do the same thing too. So it just happens to work with Beth's hashtag. So she's got the hashtag shop the stash first going on Instagram and Ravelry. So I am doing a test knit for Jamie Hoffman, and I shopped the stash first. I was very excited when I did the swallowtail because that was all stash yarn. So that was super nice. Her original design is knit in 3 or 4 colors. I decided to do the 2 color knits, and I just love the way the 2 colors look, especially since that yellow really pops against the teal. Anyway, this next one is Halfway by Jamie Hoffman, and I apologize, I always print out in black and white. This is actually a 2-tone sweater, and there is a lace panel of mohair that goes all the way down the middle of the sweater. Let me pause real quick before my camera cuts out, and then I'll come right back and finish talking about the sweater. And we're back. So, this is a test knit, and I have just started it, so I'm only partially way through. This is a bunch of new skills for me. I am doing intarsia in the round using a German short row method. German short rows are not a new method for me. Jamie uses them in almost all of her sweater designs, so I'm very familiar with the short row method now. However, I am now learning to do it in the round. and with intarsia. So that's very interesting. I am halfway through a row, but I do want to show you the little lace panel. There you go. So this is a fingering weight yarn held together with a mohair, and then halfway down the front of the sweater there is the mohair panel. So it'll have a little, you know, sexy see-through bit. The yarns I am using, I do not recommend using together. But again, I was shopping the stash first, and I didn't have, surprisingly, I didn't have a huge amount of sock weight sweater quantities in single colors. Mainly because what happens is I buy sock weight quantities in sweater quantity, but I was doing them in fades for a while, or just colors that really matched well together that I could do color work with, you know, that kind of thing. So, however, I did have these I have 2 combs of Holstgarn Super Soft. One is in this really pretty berry color. It is called Comfrey. Focus. There we go. And this pretty berry color. The camera's blowing it out a little bit. So this is my main fingering weight color. And then, now her pattern has you switching mohairs. You can also switch fingering weight, because what it does is it goes, it splits in about halfway point into a different color. So my first fingering weight color is a Dreamin' Color Kid Silk Haze, and the color is called Her Charisma. There we go. Isn't that just beautiful? And then I'm going to switch this color eventually for this color, which is, I have this written down, hold on, called Out Beyond. And it is more purple, whereas the other ones are more magenta. But I'm going to continue holding this with the berry colored, or the comfrey color Holstgarn. Now the reason I'm saying I don't recommend holding these two together is because the Holstgarn, it's the Holstgarn Super Soft. It is their fingering weight sock yarn. However, it is a very, very rustic yarn in that it has to be washed in order to soften up. It is absolutely just laden with spinning oil, and it grits like nothing. So these two yarns together really stick together, and it does not make for a fun knitting, a fun knit really. I am pushing through because I just really love the way that these two are actually knitting up together. If you can see, the finished product is going to be beautiful. It's just the knitting of it together. It's just not very fun right now, but I'm going to push through it because I love the design. And again, this is another test knit. It's not out yet. It will be out. I think she had originally had a deadline of mid-April. She is now going to hold off and have the deadline coincide with Maryland Sheep and Wool. So, first weekend in May. This project is currently living in my Feminist Knit Club Resist bag by Nerdbird Makery that I picked up at Indie Untangled last year at the New York Fiber Festival, New York Sheep and Wool, Rhinebeck. So it's currently living in there, and I love it. I love it. So I can't wait to show you guys more progress on that in 2 weeks. What else do I have on the news? Oh, I have another sweater. Sorry, I keep reaching down. I'm running out of room on all my stuffs, so I have to keep reaching, and I apologize. This is a sweater for myself that I was literally cast on yesterday, and very last minute. So this is living in my friend's I'll Be There For You bag by Fates Thread. So it's got the couch on one side and it's got a bunch of the Friends sayings on the other. Nuggy. Huge Friends nerd. This is a... You're gonna laugh at me. I know you are. If you've been a long-time viewer, you're gonna laugh because it's a Tin Can Knits flax sweater. And, you know, I bought the yarn yesterday. So this is part stash acquisition too. I bought the yarn yesterday and I put it down on the table while I was at knit group, and I said to my friends that I was going to knit a tin can flax. And Beth, friend that she is, said that I should probably knit something else because I always knit that. And I was like, well, you know, I have, but I don't have any for myself. You know, Joe's got 2 of them, and Nora's got 2 of them. No, well, I said Nora had 1. Nora actually has 2 Tin Can Knits flax sweaters, just in different varieties. I made her a short sleeve version. And then I came home and I was watching old podcast episodes so I could update my notes. Not just because, you know, I'm vain and I like watching myself talk. I don't. I actually find it incredibly uncomfortable, but sometimes I have to go back and write my notes. And there I was, lo and behold, wearing my Barnyard Knits sweater that I knit using the Tin Can Flax pattern, the Flax Light. And then I thought about it and I was like, no, I have 2 flax sweaters for myself. Nevertheless, she knitted and I picked up and started a flax. So this is a Tin Can Knits flax sweater. This is worsted, and this is in some Dreamin' Color Classy that I saw and I just fell in love with. It's going to be a very busy sweater, so I'm not I wasn't keen to do a different pattern because it really doesn't need a different pattern. Now I did do a rolled neckband. I did not do a, so this is my neckband here. See if I can get it to where my sleeves will be. Yeah. So I'm not very far. I haven't even split for the sleeves yet, but I am doing a rolled neckband. It's going to be super kind of like a slouchy sweatshirt type-esque sweater. Like I said, it's very, very busy. And so I don't want to do any type of patterning with this. It is in the Dreamin' Color Classy, which is a worsted weight yarn. And I bought 4 balls of it. Most of them look like this, but some of them actually look darker like this. So I am absolutely doing every other yarn, every other skein. And these are in the colorway Old Vine. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'll probably get this done in just a couple days. I just needed something other than the halfway that was just super easy and mind numbing, and I could just sit and do it while I'm knitting or while I'm talking and podcasting. So yeah, my last but not least work in progress is another Everyday Beanie by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Yarn. You guys have seen this once before. I've started working on it. I'm just finished. I am still working on it, but I have recently picked it up. So I just wanted to kind of go back and revisit it. So I don't think I was at the fold over the last time I podcast. I am over the fold over now, and I'm about halfway to the point where I'm going to be picking up these stitches on the provisional cast on and then folding the brim over and knitting on the larger needles, which will then make the project fly off the needles. This is currently living in my Fates thread bag with my Disney themed Disney theme. And it is out of some Rowan Kidsale Caves, and some Magpie fibers. They're Swanky Sock in the Moonstone colorway, which is just some grays and browns. Very pretty. And that is it for finished works. Let me take a pause because I have a kid that needs me right now, and I will get back to you in just a few minutes. And we're back. Alright, so I have finished my finished objects. I have finished my works in progress. I do have some needle adjacent items. I kind of have stash acquisitions, some of which you have seen, some of which you haven't seen. So the Tin Can Knits Blacks sweater, obviously I bought it yesterday, so that is a stash acquisition as well as a work in progress. And then the Dream in Color mohair that I am knitting on my halfway was a purchase to go with my Holst Garn Super Soft. So yeah, then I have, let's see what else I purchased. Oh, during Christmas, my Dragon Horde yarn sock set came in. This is from Tristan Molina, Dragon Horde yarn. This was her Winter Witch sock club set. And so it's this really pretty pinks and reds and grays, and then this kind of dark piney green to go with it. And I cannot wait to put that on the sock needles. Speaking of sock needles, my needle adjacent projects, I have 2 sock needles free because I finished 2 pairs of socks. So this is probably going to be one of them, and then the other one is going to be my mustache yarn in the colorway The Doctor. This is a self-striping yarn that I picked up at Indie Untangled this year at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So I'm very excited and looking forward to that. So these will be 2 of my needle adjacent projects. Just plain vanilla socks. You know how it goes. Always knitting socks. I do have some fingerless mitts that I need to knit for my father-in-law because apparently the ones I knit for him before, he very graciously gifted to a former coworker because said coworker was always commenting that he really liked the gloves, and the office that they had previously been working in was always cold. So before my father-in-law retired, he handed over those gloves to his coworker. So now he's been bugging my husband to get another pair. So I will be working on those as well. And then another purchase I had was clearly a Nora request. So you have seen the other pom-poms that Nora has requested, the bright blue one, the neon yellow, now she has seen the orange. There is literally a whole wall of pom-poms, and I don't know if you can see on the back of the tuft pom-poms. Those are basically all the colors they come in. And so Nora has already purchased the yellow one, the bright green one, and the bright blue one, and now she wants a bright orange hat. So she picked this up, and then she went and walked around and asked to look for yarn that matches. And so she picked out what she called a light orange color. This is the Pretty Nitty that is exclusive to the yarn store in the color Kiss Me Mandarin, I believe. Hold on, let me double check my notes that I just closed up. Kiss Me Mandarin, yes. That is the sock base. So I will probably be holding this double and knitting her a DK weight hat. So I have that project on the needles, and then needle adjacent. And then I do have a stash acquisition. I'm apologizing now for the crinkliness. I haven't taken that out. So a couple weeks ago, Beth and I, along with our friend Alice, went up to Pennsylvania for a knit-in retreat. It was an all-day event hosted by Crabapple Yarns and Brenda of Silver Siren Designs, and they have friends of theirs who graciously open up their absolutely gorgeous historic home and allow us knitters to come and invade their property and walk around and look all through their house and like poke our noses in their bedrooms and look at all the gorgeous period pieces and the period architecture. And Crabapple and Silver Siren have pop-ups, so you can shop there. I actually purchased some earrings from Brenda. I did not purchase any yarn that day. However, they hold a raffle and I won. I never win anything, you guys. Like, hardly ever. I think I can count on the one hand the number of times I've won things. So I was super excited when they called my name for a yarn purchase, or yarn winning. Because they had several things that you could have won and several things that I would have never have needed or really enjoyed getting. You know how sometimes you win raffles and the prizes are awful? Not necessarily. None of the prizes in this were awful. None of them. However, there were prizes that I would have never have used and probably would have just ended up gifting. But, you guys, I won yarn. This is Crabapple's colorway for a cause. She does a colorway for a cause during this knitting event every year. For this particular year, she did, it's always an animal rescue cause. I'm not 100% positive on what the cause was for this year. However, this was her colorway for a cause cure. The pattern that she has to go with this is the Bojagi Shawl by Knit Boop Designs, or Good Vibes by Nadia Cretin. I'm gonna Machine. I'm gonna put this up there so you can probably see. But yeah. So it's these two absolutely gorgeous skeins. They're kind of reading green on the camera, but this is more of like a tealy color, and this is more of like a greeny gray with pops of teals and purples and pinks, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. It is 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 15% yak. I have never knit with yak before. It is a light fingering weight because they are 523 yards for 100. Oh, never mind. It's 120 gram skein. So it is a fingering weight. 120 gram skein for 523 yards. And yeah. Oh. I mean, I don't see an easy way to take these out without making too much. Too much crinkling. There we go. Just look at it. Oh, look at that scummy green coming through. Isn't that just beautiful? And this is super soft too. So I got this skein. And this skein. So these two together are just absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, I'm gonna have to find something really nice to knit with this. And these are super soft. Yeah. Maybe I'll knit a scarf. I do wear scarves. Not shawls, but scarves. Maybe I'll knit a scarf. Who knows? I can imagine this would be like the warmest thing ever because it's yak. This would keep me so warm in my office. Yeah. Definitely need to try to knit something with these. So that's it. Oh, no, I do have one more needle adjacent project, and don't laugh at me, guys. Please don't laugh at me. I bought a pom-pom for myself in this really pretty scummy green color. And then I bought some, this is Malabringo, and I don't have my tags with me anywhere, so I don't know the colors. I will run them across the screen if I can find them. So this is Malabrigo. This is one of their, I think this is Machida base. It's the singles base in this pretty ochre color. And I'm going to hold it with this really pretty browny green mohair from Dream in Color. And it's going to be an everyday slouchy beanie because of course it is. because I love that hat. It really is an everyday beanie, and I'm going to enjoy knitting it. And I just think that these three together are going to look absolutely gorgeous. So that's another needle adjacent project. And with that, we are finished. I hope I see you guys again in 2 weeks. I am trying to really get all of my knitting together and organized and get back on schedule to knitting every 2 weeks. I do want to mention that Beth and I are going to do a Cal along. It is hashtag Knit Binge Cal. I'll put that across the screen. We are going to watch Dexter, and we are going to knit on our sock yarn blankets while we watch Dexter. So you can participate with us. You do not have to knit a sock blanket. You can knit whatever you want. So we're going to start with Dexter. In theory, we could knit 1 square per episode. The episodes are only about 40 to 45 minutes per episode, and that's about how long it takes to knit a square on our sock yarn blankets. For Beth, she has about 200 squares left. I have way more than that, probably double. So we're going to start with Dexter, and then we'll probably pick another series after that to binge together. And so the point is to watch an episode, knit a square, watch an episode, knit a square, watch an episode, knit a square. You get the point. So if you guys would like to participate, you can head on over to her Ravelry group in MD Quilter Knits, or you can head over to my Ravelry group, The Knitter's Closet, either one, and share your knit binge cals. You can also use the hashtag on Instagram. We'll both be following along on that Instagram tag. And you can also check out her podcast on YouTube. It's MD Quilter and MD Quilter Knits. And I'll link her below as well. So if you aren't subscribed, go subscribe to her because she's awesome. She's got about 5 episodes out already, and you'll definitely want to see all of her yarn. It's amazing to see. So, alright, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.